Patreon, going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad free. You also get AMAs once a month, or learn about me episodes once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore, currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there. So you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man with 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/realityt times 2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on other tier, if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/realityt times 2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. This episode is ad-free on the Patreon. So if you want to partake in that, you can head on over to patreon.com/realityt times 2. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So let's just jump right in. Episode 2. So it's Mikayla's birthday. Her, Mayci, and Jessi are supposed to be going shopping together, but Jessi's a no-show. Jessi's not here. And they're like, that's not really like her. She said she's going to be somewhere. She's going to be somewhere. They call her, but she doesn't answer. Meanwhile, at Jessi's house, we hear Jessi and Jordan arguing. He apparently spent the night at Dakota's house because, he couldn't handle himself. She ended up calling her mom and her sisters to basically come and get her because they don't want to really be in the same space with each other. They ultimately decided to separate. His main focus to me seems to be how it makes him look, how all of this makes him look as a man. He wants to be portrayed as such in his mind. But I feel like his most important thing should be about the relationship, if that's what he wants to work on. She says it got so bad that she considers the situation she has with him as emotional abuse. He'll name call her. They're fighting every day. It's not good. But trust me when I say we're going to get a really good look a little later into how bad this really is, how bad he can really get. And we'll get more on that later. Taylor's back. She's back from her retreat. She said the retreat was a lot. Dakota actually came to retreat for a day to establish good co-parenting. Great idea. Can they stick to that? More on that later. So Taylor ends up asking Dakota, what happened while I was gone? So he fills her in. He's like, so basically Jessi ended up saying that she had an emotional affair with Murchino. And yeah, that's basically what's happened. FYI, guys, I do want to know. I say I do know his name is Marciano, but it's just so much fun to ruin his name. Anyways, this is what I've been doing now. Thank you very much. But so yeah, that's what he basically said has been going on. Taylor's like, well, damn. Okay. So this is what she's stepping into. So now we're at Mikayla's birthday. Mayci says that Jessi told her that she separated from Jordan. But while Jessi is going to be at this party, Jordan also shows up. They did end up going to couples therapy where they have decided to have a 90-day plan where basically they're going to stay separated, have time at the house with the kids, time off from the kids so the other can be there. And they are not to speak about their relationship at any time except for when they are in therapy. Um, Layla, we see her bringing what she calls moral support. She brought a friend because we're going to see this friend a little bit. What's her name? Bria. I can't remember her name, but we're going to see her a couple times. And she brought her here because she's like, well, everyone yelled at me at my party. So I just want to have some, like, I don't know, a friend. And Michaela's like, I don't remember giving her a +1. Like, I don't remember doing that. By the way, this is a St. Patrick's Day birthday party. Just wanted to FYI that. Um, so Layla does come over though, and she pulls them aside and she apologizes for her part with, not telling them about Chase and all of this. And Mikayla says, listen, I am sorry about getting heated with you. I'm pregnant. I'm hormonal. So, she takes what they both of them got very heated about the situation, but I see both sides. So apparently, Jen and Zach went to Chippendales together. Let me repeat, Jen Affleck and Zach Affleck went to Chippendales. Chippendales where the men strip and dance on you potentially. The same Chippendales where Zach got pissy and said, this is not a wife. I don't want my wife being danced upon on Chippendales. Yet that guy, that situation, the same Chippendales when they brought a Chippendales dancer to the party where they also had Brett and Jordan dancing on Jen. And this is the same party where Chase and Taylor were fighting, and then we had Akeem in the background. That Chippendale situation. What? Like, exposure therapy, am I right? So messed up. Um, Jessi is like, maybe exposure therapy was a good idea. But Jessi says, I got texts that are really damning, really damning. So I'm going to read them to you, okay? I didn't capture the text messages because I was flabbergasted, mind you, but here we go. Saying things like, what did she say? Something about, I would really like to see what that surgery was all about, want to see how that looks now, how since you had your vagina rejuvenated, I kind of want to see what that's all about. Do you? Yeah, like I wish I could have like gone all the way. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Do you? Do you? It's these text messages were something. I mean, honestly, I don't even think I text my boyfriend stuff like that. Not anymore. Not as much. But it's just like the sex was sexting. It's damn. And she ca- besides the point, y'all. Okay. Her whole point of doing this is she's trying to prove that if they had sex, would he have said certain things in his text messages? One of obviously the kind of thing like, I want to see what that surgery's all about. Kind of around those lines. Well, sir, if you had sex with her the way you're claiming you did, you would remember what the surgery results were like. You know what I mean? But all of this to say that while she's reading these text messages, Jordan is literally 2 steps away, right there. She's there laughing and giggling while reading the text messages, and it's like, Jessi, this isn't a good look. This isn't a good look. Like, to me, it just feels like she wants to blow her marriage up. I don't blame her, but it's just not a good look when your husband's literally right there. Anyways, we have Jen and Zach. They're back in Utah. She's 26 weeks pregnant. They're basically here from Arizona because they want to decide whether or not they want to have the baby in Utah. She has an event coming up that the others will be there as well. She has only spoken with Taylor. She has not spoken with anybody else. Then we hear her playing the piano. Y'all, she is really, really talented. She's really good. Like, amazing. Wait, if I we say it in Aisha's voice. It was amazing. It was amazing. She's really, really good. Then we are with Mayci and Mikayla and their husbands are Jace and Jacob. We want to get to the bottom of this Jessi situation, they say. I think we should meet Macarena? Whatever. I think we need to go meet him. Okay, if you must. Anyways, so I'm done. I'm a dummy because when they said that we're going to Beaver, Utah, it sounded like they said Beaver, Utah, and then I realized I'm so Canadian that I can't hear beaver instead of beaver. But anyways, we're going to Beaver, Utah, and they're heading to meet Merchant to interrogate him. Michaela is like, I gotta pee. So Macy, like they took a million breaks for food, for pee breaks, obviously. But one of these times now where Michaela's like, I gotta pee, Macy just pulls off to the side and tells her, here. Here's what you're gonna do. Here's what you're gonna do. You're going to open the 2 doors. You're gonna pee in between the 2 doors. But then when you squat, you have to like spread your legs out and then like push your vagina up, I guess, and pee. So you're like not hitting your shoes. And yeah, wow. I feel like there are better things that we could have done. Maybe just go squat into a bush or something, I don't know. Or maybe just see if there's, like, a bottle you can piss into or, wait till maybe I mean, I don't know where the nearest gas station would have been, but there has to be something else you could have done in this situation. My god. Anyway, we then see Jessi at therapy, and we learn a lot about how she kind of views herself, um, that Jordan perpetrated that and Demi fed on that. So basically what she's kind of saying here is that it's really, really sad. Like she talks about the fact that she's made fun of um for her words that people say that she's not good looking and that she looks like a man. And first of all, shame on anyone who says anything like that to her. She is a beautiful woman. She I don't understand that at all, but because she has this very warped view of herself and the public eye doesn't help that. And Jordan, who is supposed to be her safe spot, doesn't help that. It just unfortunately made her perfect, uh, a perfect victim to someone like Demi who feeds off people's misery. So she, unlike Jasmine, cousin Anthony or nephew Anthony or who is Heath Gino again? It doesn't even matter. Unlike Jasmine, who he called a narcissistic succubi, that title actually belongs to somebody else. And her name is Demi. Anyways, so we're in Beaver, Utah. 5 hours, 6 pee breaks, and four snack break later. They have now arrived in Beaver. And here comes the man of the hour, Mr. Murciano. Marciano. He does have a cool name, though, I must say. It's Marciano. Anyways, um, so we're like, okay, we want to hear from you. Hear what you have to say. Did you kiss Demi? And he says, listen, I don't want a war. Well, war with who? Because either you're gonna have either you tell the truth, you won't have a war, right? Just tell the truth, and there's no war to be had. But yeah, that's actually not what he means. He doesn't want a war with anyone. And no matter where he puts this, I guess, it's gonna be a war. But he says, you know what? Fuck it. He says, yeah, it happened. So he kissed me at the villa. And am I crazy? But did Jen say that? Anyways, um, he does say it was off camera. So that's why, she can deny. But then how about Jessi? Where does that kind of come in? And he says, drinks happened. It was flirty. I did go back to her room. I did stay. We talked. But he admits we did not have sex. So I guess like cum stain is, it's just, yeah. Cum stain in the shorts. Just, yeah. That's a you problem. But they say to him, well, why did you tell Layla that you did, though? And he says, well, I was being influenced. Influenced by who? Who could ever influence this guy to lie about whether or not he had sex with Jessi? Well, what do you know? Shockers to nobody. He says to me, and that's where we end episode 2. So I'm going to take a quick break here. And when I come back, we will jump in with episode 3. Hi, everyone. So I have a new product for you to go take a look at. This is with Pink Salt Wall. So they're a source of pure Himalayan salt. I think we all kind of, have our salt lamps and everything, which I do have. But with them, they offer high-quality Himalayan pink salt products that can enhance your environment and help with respiratory and skin issues. Their collection includes Himalayan salt bricks, tiles, building blocks, licking salt blocks for your animals. That sounds interesting. Salt lamps and cooking plates and much more. All their products are shipped directly from their factory in Pakistan and are available locally through their warehouse in Maryland, United States. So, yeah, if you're interested in taking part in that, you can go down to the show notes where you'll see a link to their website through me. So you're supporting them as well as supporting the podcast as well. So if you go to www.pinksaltwall.com/Tanika Thomas, that's all in caps, you can partake in these amazing products and again, support the podcast. Now it's enough of me. Let's head back to the podcast. And I'm back. So let's jump in with episode 3. So we left off with Marcino telling us that Demi is the one who influenced him. So did she tell you to say that? Like, did she tell you to say that you had sex with Jessi? He says yes. So why are you listening to her, you dum-dum? Well, he says, well, I thought we were friends. Okay, can I backpedal here for a second? Thanks. If someone is telling you to lie about somebody else, sure, that is the definition of they are not your friend. They are using you. Come on now. They ask, like, did you want to have sex with Jessi? And he's like, well, y'all, I took the Cialis. But don't you worry, y'all. Don't you worry. He does not have ED. So don't you worry about that. He just took the Cialis just in case. That's all. Because that's what all men do. They just take a freaking ED drug just in case. So he doesn't have performance anxiety. Right. Sure, my guy. Yeah. Anyways. So they end up calling Jessi on the way back and they're like, you think we should just tell her? Like, do you think maybe we could like say, oh, he didn't get anything. No, he didn't say shit. No. Mm. Psych, y'all. When they said they're like, you think we should pretend that we didn't get anything? I'm like, Mayci, Mikayla, seriously, this is her life here. This isn't like, let's pretend for a minute. You know what I mean? It was a bad idea. So he's like, yeah, no, he folded like a pancake. And they tell her, so there's a little bit of an extra layer to all of this, and that layer is Demi, because apparently she's been puppet mastering everything. He admitted to kissing Demi at the villa, and Layla's like, I don't want someone like that in my life. Because out like talking about Demi, this is making her second guess her relationship with her. Jesse's like, I know Demi is mad that we are not friends. Okay, well, let's be a cuckoo magoo. Let's be the single white female in here. Like, what the hell is happening? So after the MomTok meeting, Demi apparently rage attacks Jessi because like she didn't back her up. Like during the whole situation where they're like saying about Taylor, she's a horrible person. Like she shouldn't be a part of MomTok. Like, ugh, she's not the leader of Mom. But yes, she is. Yes, she is. And she's not crazy. She's perfect. Unlike you. Anyways, at an event, they were about to tell Miranda what was going on because they're not sure if they can trust Miranda. They're still trying to figure out whether or not she's mulling around this bitch, you know what I mean? But then they were like, listen, I don't think we should. I don't think we should tell Miranda because she might be a mole and she might go back and tell Demi everything. We don't want that. They don't trust her. But Miranda's over here being like, I'm not gonna, I'm not, okay. I guess I'm not a part of Mom Talk, so I guess I can't be privy to everything. And then Taylor's here, so that's basically that. We then see Zach and Jordan at the gym, and Jordan tells Zach basically what's been going on with him and Jessi. And, Zach's gonna be Zach and be his usual narcissistic self, but it is what it is. Misogynistic. That's better, like it. We are now at another event. And y'all, when I tell you that I had a jump scare when I saw Demi in the room, I had a jump scare when I saw Demi in the room. With some chick named Camille. Anyway, who used to be a part of Mom Talk, actually. So we have another person here who used to be part of Mom Talk and then, ended up doing the dip. But Layla is like, why are you here when you don't want to film? Saying this to Demi. Demi goes to try and hug her. Oh boy. She tries to go in and hug her. She has her arms stretched out, and Layla's just standing there being like, what? Uh, no. And Layla's like, she's not hugging her. And Demi's like, what the fuck? And Layla's like, I know what you did. I know what you did last summer. I know that you killed that man. I know that, wrong situation. No, you didn't. You didn't have a meat hook? No. Sorry. Wrong thing. I know that you told Machino Cherry that you you wanted him to say that he has sex with Jessi. Like, I know what you did. And she says, what? And then, this is what Layla tells her, and Demi's like, let me show you the messages where I told him not to say anything. I can prove myself. Like, I told him not to say anything. And she's like, "Didn't you tell the truth about Vanderpump?" "Yeah." "And Jesse's the liar and the cheat?" Like, I told him to not say anything. And so let's call Jessi. Let's talk to Jessi, figure out what's going on here. So Layla does call Jessi, and immediately she said, "That's why, Demi is here." So yeah, but it doesn't go good because when Demi actually tries to like talk to her, she's like, "I'm not talking to you," and she hangs up. And then Layla calls her back without Demi, and she's like, it's just me." But then Demi is so fucking desperate for the attention that she goes back to Layla, following her, and she says, "So, you know what? I've kind of made a decision." Yeah, I made a decision. "I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on a live and just say everything about Jessi." The fuck is wrong with you? Are you good, ma'am? I think she needs a downer, y'all. She needs a downer. Give her a downer. She needs it. But Layla's like, "Without me breaking her NDA, so let's sue." So obviously a producer comes to her car and is like, "Hey, hey, 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 hey. How you doing? I want to remind you about the non-disclosure agreement you signed where you can't talk about shit having to do with what you've been filming on the show in second season or in this season and future seasons to come. I want to remind you of said non-disclosure agreement where it says if you break any terms of this agreement, we get to sue the frickin' pants off of you." And bread. And all of freaking Utah. How about that? And then to me, it's basically going to be like, "Okay, well, I guess I won't go on that live because I'm not filming anymore, which means I'm not bringing in revenue as much anymore, except for MomTok." And really, how's that going? Because, well, and I won't say anything. No, I won't say anything. Good. Anyways, then we're heading to St. George, and we find out that Demi hates Miranda too. So Miranda, y'all, is not the mole. Because if she was the mole, Demi would be making sure she utilizes her no matter what happens. So she's not the mole. And Miranda's like, I'm taking a step back from Demi. I'm not the mole. I need to trust that right now. I am not the mole. So then we talk Mom Talk and where it's gonna be going, and Taylor's like, "Whitney or Demi or both will definitely wanna come back, 100%. Whitney always comes back with her tail between her legs saying, 'Hey, guys, I really miss you, and I wanna be on the Mom Talk again. So, like, can we?'" And then if we have Demi's gonna be like, "I'm the leader of Mom Talk anyways, and I'm the fan favorite." That was a long time ago, but I'm the fan favorite, so, like, it makes total sense that I need to be on MomTok. Of course, it's what's gonna happen. Um, so basically what they're trying to establish is no matter who tries to come in, Demi or Whitney or both, it's gonna be a no. No, they can't come back for two very different reasons. For Whitney, it's, "Well, you keep going back and forth with MomTok, and we're sick of it." For Demi, it's like, well, she's the Antichrist, so she really can't be a part of MomTok. So, then they say, "It's time for us to confirm if Miranda is in or is she out?" And Layla says, "It's not that this is still a question mark." Agreed. Jessi says, "Anyone who associates with Demi, I just don't trust." So it's like an automatic thing for her. It's kind of like with Mikayla, but not as strong, where she's like, "I don't give a fuck about Whitney, and I really do not want Whitney a part of Mom Talk. But hey, if the rest of you want her on Mom Talk, I guess it's okay." It's kind of like that. And Miranda says, after seeing her at the event the other day, it's done. Like, there's nothing more for me to say. So she's back in Yale. She is a part of MomTok. And Jessi says, I want to reach out to multiplication. Since we're going to be so close, since they are close to Vegas, I guess St. George is close to Vegas, I'm not sure. And Taylor's like, hey, yeah, I think that's a bad idea. I think that's a bad idea. And Jessi wants people to do lie detectors. Basically, done by people, her and Marcino, whatever. She wants both of them to do a lie detector test. And Taylor's like, I think this is the worst idea I've ever heard in my entire life. Then we see Mayci and Mikayla calling a person to do this lie detector test because Jessi did reach out to this guy to come. And they're happy with her. She seems reputable. She's been doing this for like 20 years, something like that. And then there's discreetness of it where she's not like on camera. Zach and Jen. So Zach fills Jen in on what is going on with Jessi and Jordan. And Jen is like, so wait. If they are having some issues in their marriage, why was our marriage being overanalyzed? You know what I mean? Marcino is here with fucking flowers, y'all. This man came with flowers. Listen, my guy, she's married. Where do you think the flowers are going? But she says, let's go to my room and let's talk. How about no? How about no? Why are you taking this guy who may or may not have had cum stains in his shorts, who may or may not decided he took a Cialis just in case? Like, this is not a guy you take back to your room. I'm just saying. Unless you want some, then yes. But she hugs him and she says, there was feelings there. Yeah, before there were feelings there. So why did you lie to Layla about us? And he says, I had words put in my mouth or put in my head, meaning to me. He says, I was confused. And Jessi says, okay, so you felt ghosted by me. And Demi was there. He says, I told Demi we didn't have sex, but she didn't believe me. She says, would you do a lie detector test? And he says, I'll do it. He said, I'll do it for you. That's the only reason that he does the with the controller, whatever. So then we have the girls talking about they would not marry Mormon men again. Some said they will, but mainly for Taylor and Layla, it's an obvious no, absolutely not. Meanwhile, in the women's quarters, or in Jessi's quarters, really, this polygraph is here. So out of that whole situation where, like, the questions basically they asked. I think actually I do go through the questions during so we'll save the questions for that point. So yeah. After that, Jessi invited him to dinner, which I'm like, ooh, that's a bad idea. We do not, let me repeat, do not need to be taking a vampire out to dinner. But like, anyway, so they're doing it this way so they can get the results together. And they can explain it if need be. While waiting for the others, he says, I'm just admiring how beautiful you are. Sir, she's married. She's married. But of course, like, she just kind of starts to be like giggly and shit. And she's like, really? Lord. Taylor, when she meets him, is like, I didn't get it. Like, I don't get the fascination with Martino. I don't get it. It's kind of like Joe and Below Deck, Med. I don't get it, but everybody wants peace. But I just personally don't get it. No one at this table thinks having him at the dinner is a good idea. Nobody. Although Miranda thinks it's better he is here with the rest of everybody and is not alone. So can you reenact the kiss with Demi on on Layla? And Jesse's like, is it like our kiss? She says this to Maraschino Cherry. You, stop it. Stop it. Stop. Like, you know what I mean? You, ma'am, are married. Okay. You're married. You can't be out here being like, is it like our kiss? You're supposed to wipe that shit from your memory. You guys, as far as we're concerned, never kissed. You know what I mean? And Taylor's like, girl, you're still married. That's what they said. But now the results are in, and here are kind of the questions they asked, and kind of where everyone stands. So, have you had an interconnect? Wait, have you had intercourse with Dusty? It translated to interconnected. But she says no, and that is true. Did you have sexual, physical contact with Jessi? No, and that is also true. Now, did you, basically, when it came to Demi, did you, did Demi make you lie? He, I think, said no, and it came back inconclusive. And Jessi was the same on intercourse, but for the sexual physical contact, it's inconclusive. Inconclusive. I'm fine. Inconclusive. Can't read my handwriting. Not handwriting. I do my notes. But yeah, that was found. That came back inconclusive, and it's like, yikes! It's the one thing you want to be able to disprove that they basically just want to make it seem, obviously, with all of this, it's just that they didn't have sex, but it came back inconclusive. 'Cause my thing is, what does physical contact mean exactly? Because we do know they answered true about the fact that they've never had sex with each other. And now, obviously, the phone logs are going to be different. But, anyways, that is it for me, y'all. That's it for this episode. So, for episode 3 as well. So we'll be back with episode 4, and we'll see from there afterwards what else we'll cover of the Secret Lives. But either way, that is it for me, y'all. That is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there. And you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikayla, Next Week Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.